boring tasks, annoying coworkers and bosses that are constantly breathing down your neck all day. All things that make you want to stay in your nice warm bed in the morning and just watch The Office all day. Believe me, I know. I used to work at a supermarket for 9 years, scanning other people's groceries and dealing with the general public until this year, finally, I was able to quit my 9 to 5 and continue on full time with my own little Amazon FBA business. Now, it didn't take me the full 9 years of working on the business to replace my full-time income. I'd actually only been learning about Amazon FBA for the last 4 years. And of that time period, the majority of it, I was trying to teach myself how to do it and learning off YouTube and going from video to video to video, of which I was able to progress a bit, but it was not until I had somebody direct me in the right direction and mentor me on what I should be focusing on.
Now, Lamborghini.
That allowed me to really have that needle moving action and replace my full-time income. But what does that actually look like?
Now, the amount of money that you're going to require to leave your day job is obviously going to vary from person to person. But whenever I teach people about selling on Amazon, I always stress that the big dollars come from selling your e-commerce brand. And when doing this, $1 million or a $500,000 exit becomes very possible very quickly. Now, I know when I throw those numbers out there, for some people, they can be very scary, right? You've never had or heard of having that kind of money any time in your life. But I'm trying to rewire the way that you think and start to lift the ceiling that's been placed upon your mind. And I want you to think how your biggest financial goal, right? Your biggest financial dream that, man, if I could get $500,000 or $1 million, that would be insane, right? That would be crazy. Or if I could get $10 million, that's impossible. Like $100 million that's just out of this world. I'd have to win the lotto or something, right? But then on the flip side, I want you to think about someone else, like Elon Musk, right? Like if he only made $100 million this year, right? Not in his lifetime, or $10 million, or God, if it was only $1 million, like he'd probably be on the brink of suicide. It would be so horrible for him. So you just see how it's just a mindset thing. We've been brought up and taught that only certain people can have these crazy big amounts of money, and from a very young age we've had a ceiling put on our heads with regards to what we can actually achieve. Now, I'm going to break it down for you here on my computer in just a moment and show you how these really big numbers can actually be very achievable when broken down and thought through into a day-by-day basis. Now, I have my calculator up here on my computer and we'll go between the camera and the computer, but let's just start off with the smallest example I gave, right? $500,000, $500,000. That's a huge number for a lot of people. So let's say we want to sell our e-commerce brand that we've built up for $500,000, okay? Now, whenever you go to sell an e-commerce brand, the general rule of thumb is that you can sell it for a 2 to 4 times multiplier of the amount of profit it does per year. So let's go somewhere in the middle. Let's say we only get a 3 times multiplier, right? So in order to get paid out $500,000, we have to make, and we divide this by 3, we'd have to make about $167,000 profit for the whole year. Okay, so it's still a very big number. That's a lot of money still for a lot of people, but it's slowly getting a little bit more manageable, right? So let's break that down from a year into how much profit we'd have to make per month. So if we divide this number via 12, we can see that we'd have to do about $14,000 profit each month in order to get a $500,000 payout. Now, it's still a big number, right? But it's getting a lot more manageable. That $14,000 is a lot easier to consider than the nearly $170,000 you'd have to do each year. Now, if we break this down even further into how much we'd have to do each day, we can start to see the goals we'd need to set and how many units we would need to sell. So if we divide our monthly total via 30, we can see that we need to do just over $460 profit each day. Now again, don't panic, okay? I know for a lot of people and myself when I was working at the supermarket, that $460 is a lot of money. You know, like I'd make a bit more than that per week, but it would take me so many hours of working and dealing with everything I hated in order to make that kind of money, and we're trying to do it per day, right? But again, when I teach people how to sell on Amazon, when they launch a product, I encourage them to launch a product in the higher price point range. Doesn't mean you can't do it in the lower one. I know lots of people making way more money than that in a lower price point range, but I always encourage a higher one from about the $50 to $70 price point, because we always try to aim for a minimum of 30% profit margin, okay? So if we get the absolute minimum, and let's say we're selling at about a $60 price range, so if we're selling at the absolute minimum, that's about $18 profit per unit that we sell, okay? So if we now divide our daily profit total via that $18 profit we get per unit, we can see how many units we would need to sell each day to sell our brand for a $500,000 exit. So if we divide this via 18, we can see we need to sell about 26 units at $60 price point and a 30% profit margin to sell for $500,000. Now, doesn't that seem a lot more manageable, right? And just remember that this is a brand, okay, that we're selling. So it could be multiple products. So we need to sell 26. So if you had 2 products, you could be doing 13 sales each day for each product. Or again, if you break it down to 3 products, 4 products, you need to sell less of each product to still hit that goal. So you can see now, once you break it down, that we've gone from that big daunting number of $170,000 per year to now only having to sell 26 units each day. So it's a lot more achievable for you to spend a year launching a brand, testing some products. And then as you go into your second year, you flesh it out into another 2 to 3 products. So then by the end of your second year, you've got anywhere from 1 to 4 products selling successfully, and doing that 26 products per day becomes super, super easy.
So I dare you to take this on. I dare you to spend the next year building out this brand with this new goal in mind, and that you now know that all you need to achieve this is to sell 26 units a day, right? That might take 1 product, that might take 2, it might take 3 or 4. There's no competition, everyone has a different journey and everyone learns at a different pace. But I want you to start to lift that ceiling that's been put on your mind and think about how it is possible for you to achieve these ginormous financial goals whilst not having to work at a job that you hate or deal with a boss that you can't stand. All it takes is a little bit of belief, and I won't stop until I've instilled that in you. I'm super proud of you guys for taking this step forward, and remember, you're only 1 product away from living the life that you dream of. If you still get a bit stuck or you want some further information, come on down to our Sunday live product talks. I go live for an hour where I do some product research, but if you have any questions, you can come along and ask it. We can go through that. If you have any product ideas you want me to sort of give you a quick checkout on, come on down. I'm always happy to help. Otherwise, leave any questions you have down in the comments. I always go through and answer every comment as quickly as I can, but I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.